I'm excited to see the team that beat Kraken Paradise already in round 1. Like that should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I just want to see how they actually are able to, how they're actually able to operate. Because it's like you're told, oh wow, these guys beat KP, and even though they're like fighting Lime Soda, which I would expect KP to do a little bit better than Lime Soda just based on like results we've seen in the past. I still want to see like, all right, well, how exactly are these guys beating people?
And maybe there's a certain strategy that Lime Soda implements that this team isn't exactly used to. Maybe there's something different that Lime Soda can bring to the table that Kraken Paradise didn't exactly. First off, I need to pull up the rule set to figure out what mode we're on. I know we're
so it's random maps. So it's going to be random maps. The modes are predetermined, so I can bring that up. So I guess we're in round 2, but basically it's just going to be game 1 for round 1. It's like game 1 TC, game 2 Rainmaker, game 3 Splat Zones. Then then they put Clam Blitz in front, and it basically just rotates. So every round they'll take one of the modes and put it in front until they get back to the TC Rainmaker Splat Zones. And then for semifinals, it's going to be first to 3. So it'll have all 4 modes, and the same thing for finals.
Cool.
And all maps are random and no repeats. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy indeed. Gotta love the quick and easy best of 3 single elim action. But actually, it looks like we're going to be hopping into this one very shortly. Teams both readied up in the lobby. Hopping into this game, looks like, I believe round 2 starts with clams.
I think
and it
so?
is Clam Blitz. Yes.
Yep,
okay.
I see a circle.
I see a circle. That's right. Actually, a Grim Range Blaster coming out on the side of Kbot something or other.
Yeah, as a name that we can't pronounce.
So maybe if you want to talk a little bit here about what do you think this Grim Range is going to do, as far as putting in work on
typically speaking, on this map, you tend to see a lot of long-range comps, right? Like we've seen like the double Rapid Pro Deco and stuff in the past come out of like high-level Japanese teams, and even the West, we tend to go like double backline. In Clam Blitz specifically, you do need to be a little bit more aggressive because you need to push into the enemy base multiple times. So the straight double backline might not be as good as something like having like a Grim Range, where it's like you have the range and the ability to finish people off at long range with that burst bomb combo, but you're also a little bit more of a close range weapon that's actually able to kind of make those forward pushes. So we'll see how it ends up working with the Slosher Deco, the custom jet, and the Pro, and actually the ballpoint as well. Lime Soda kind of has the same game plan. Like they have range in their comp, but they're doing so in a little bit more of an aggressive way, by having that ballpoint splatling. Of course, ballpoints can be pretty aggressive, and so far neither team has really gotten that big of an advantage in mid. There's been a couple picks right now, but Lime Soda able to kind of get a trade going here. They're able to use a Stingray to control mid, and there's really no significant pushes happen so far, and we're past the minute. So we kind of talk like, oh, these guys beat KP, and we're expecting like this kind of a blowout, but so far Lime Soda is able to kind of hold it neutral.
We know in a lot of cases, it's all about holding neutral as long as you can, waiting for that advantage, building up the amount of claims that you have before pushing in, and now we're starting to see a push coming in from both sides, as a matter of fact, from Kobayashi as they start to break in towards this barrier. I don't think they have a power claim quite at the ready. There it is, and they're just immediately going to throw it in, dumping it in. So they will go ahead, get the first push, and get the lead, and they will add in a couple of extra claims onto that, and as a matter of fact, it's going to be quite a few here, as now the rest of the members of Lime Soda are coming back in to get this defense coming. And it looks like this ballpoint, finally going to be taken out after retreating back pretty far, but an opening push to 56, not too shabby here.
Yeah, it's not too bad. When I was seeing that push starting, I was like, okay, well, they're making this push, but they kind of had trouble getting a power clam. This gets knocked in the water. They had a little bit of trouble getting a power clam ready, but it seemed like they actually were able to kind of get it to 56. So it's not as big as it could have been, considering how good that pincer was, about how how much they were able to really just completely wipe Lime Soda and kind of push as they wanted to. They were able to collect some clams afterwards, so it's not anything like a crazy knockout, but 56 is a pretty good score, and if they push again successfully, Lime Soda is going to have difficulty coming back. We're already past the halfway point of this game, and while we saw a very kind of calm neutral for the start of the game, Lime Soda is going to need to have their own push going if they want to be able to take this game 1.
Yeah, but at the moment, Lime Soda looking like are on their heels as this Japanese team has pretty large control of mid for the most part, and Lime Soda is having difficulty finding their way in. They keep going down here, especially this Grim Range shot, going to get that pick now onto the Grim Range, but they're coming in from the other side. Kobayashi is they are going to get one power claim and not going to get the other, and it's a 3-down situation now. Might as well have been a wipe, I believe, and so this should allow Lime Soda to come back in, get some more map control in mid, try to build up those claims. They do have 2 power claims at the ready, and it's also going to be a matter of building up those specials in order to make that push into the basket.
All right, well, once again, we see Lime Soda kind of pushed into their base with Kobayashi. They're kind of doing the same thing. So they're trying to push both sides, but it seems like Will with the custom Jet Squelcher is able to hold off the right side flank that you saw a second ago on our screen. So this is going to stop the push from being as effective as last time. And with this Stingray going off, we should see this tent go down. Maybe, maybe not. It seems like he's able to dodge, but... Oh, I was going to say that it looks like Lime Soda is able to hold, but while that Stingray was going off, the member of the enemy team that he was holding off was able to take advantage of the weakness of Stingray and get that flank, and now Kobayashi is pushing Lime Soda's base. Still no push yet. Baller trying to go off, doesn't actually get a pick. Another special going off. They're trying really hard to get this push to go. They finally get a pick. 3v2 situation, no power clam still, but with not that much time left in the game, even if this wasn't a push, I don't know what Lime Soda would be able to kind of offer as a comeback afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it looks like that these members of Kobayashi have just pushed up so far forward that they're not letting Lime Soda get back into mid, get back where most of the claims are, to try to build something up or even try to build their specials up in order to have that ability to get back into the barrier. They do have one now, but they still have to deal with this pesky Tenebrilla here on this left side. One going down here, Shock. Little caught off position here in almost a 3v1 in that point. And it's another 3-down situation for Lime Soda. I imagine this is very much going to be the game here. It really just, these members of Kobayashi, just even when they don't have a power claim, they're maintaining their forward positioning such that these members of Lime Soda are really struggling to try to get around them.
And yeah, that is going to be game 1 for Kobayashi. So we saw a lot more fight out of Lime Soda than what one might have expected come into this, especially since this team took out Kraken Paradise. And honestly, the KDs aren't even that different from one another. It was just really the difference maker is that Kobayashi was able to really just put together more consistent more consistent pushes, right? Like they were kind of more either controlling mid or kind of slowly pushing into Lime Soda's base. They really were and they really didn't like Lime Soda. They didn't really let Lime Soda do the same thing, right? And when they got that lead, they went for like these really safe pushes where they just put pressure on Lime Soda and threatened to go for like clam baskets and stuff. But it's kind of like in Rainmaker where if you get a lead, you don't want to defend the lead. You want to kind of keep pushing in ways that can't get you wiped and counter pushed. That way, you're kind of offering the best defense with a form of offense.
Yeah, indeed. And so we'll see here what Lime Soda can kind of try to respond with as we're now going to tower control on Manta Maria. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can try to get something a little more where they're going to have the ability to break in through this barrier, through those forward positionings that we're seeing coming out from Kobayashi. Try to get something where you can get some of those picks and hopefully at the very least not let the snowball out of control like it might have the tendency to do on a tower control map. Looks like Kobayashi now going with an tent, sloshing machine, aerospray PG.
Ooh. Okay, so we got the special charge on the aerospray. So that's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So aerospray PG, like I use this sometimes, and basically the only reason that you want to use it is if you want that Booyah Bomb, and for some reason you don't want to use the Kensa Dynamo. Now Kensa Dynamo can spam about as many Booyah Bombs as the Aerospray can, but the big difference is that the Aerospray is going to be able to paint a lot better. So, I mean, looking at the rest of their comp, they have the ballpoint, so they don't necessarily need that, but I can see how they kind of want that shooter to have a little bit more flexibility in order to kind of get some map control. Although that Aerospray has been being really aggressive so far, gets taken out by Yosh.
I was about to say, turning back to the game now, there was heavy potential for that to go snowballing real quick. You saw those members of Kobayashi push forward, but at the very end here, Lime Soda able to kind of hang on. But it's another 2-down situation. They just keep going down at the moment. Now we've got the Tenebrella riding this tower at the moment. Is Will the only one up there on that baller? Will get 2, it looks like, at the moment. So, but all the meanwhile, this Tenebrella is still riding the tower. That Explosher coming in, trying to get a couple of picks. It's a 3-down situation, but they still haven't taken care of the Tenebrella. There it is. That should be the end of this push.
Yeah, finally they're able to hold that off, and they were doing a good job at trying to focus down enemies, and, you know, like, you could tell that Lime Soda's cameras were responding to callouts and trying to, like, focus down jumps and stuff like that, but they really just weren't able to kind of outfight the members of Kobayashi that were forming a presence near them. You know, it just seems like even if you're playing properly, when you're playing against, you know, high-level opponents of this skill, they're still going to be able to come out on top just because of pure individual skill and little bits of teamwork. So you really have to just kind of pull out all the stops in order to stop this. And speaking of stopping this, Kobayashi starts going for another tower push, but Lime Soda gets 2 down. This is Lime Soda's first time with real map control. Let's see if they're able to kind of make a good push out of this.
Yeah, 2-down situation now that Booyah coming out. It's a 3-down situation now, and so Lime Soda looking to try to push forward here, but they have to watch.
Oh no, a 10.
Right. Coming through, doing Tenebrella things, you know, as kind of expected here. Shock gonna try to get a pick on here. It looks like that is going to be a 2 versus 1 situation. We'll go ahead and get that. Booyah Bomb coming out as mid really goes back into the yellow here in favor of the Japanese team. Gonna get that pick onto the Tenebrella with the bombs. Honestly, that's probably like the only good way to deal with Tenebrella is chuck a bomb at it and hope that it kind of picks them off. But in any case, it's another 2-down situation for Lime Soda, and so Kobayashi going to push this tower yet again as they get up into this more aggressive positioning.
Yeah, now that was a little bit of a scramble right there. You know, that would have been a much bigger push for Lime Soda if it wasn't the fact that it was the Tenebrella that was the one left. We saw last game a situation where it was basically a Tenebrella went in 1v3 and still lived, you know? And that's basically what happened here, too. Teammates were able to jump to him. They were able to kind of get some reinforcements, and people were able to respawn, and it was really able to take that basically wipe that Lime Soda had gotten and really negated the advantage from it. They only were able to push to the first checkpoint. They didn't even get past that first checkpoint. With a minute and 40 seconds left and Lime Soda's members going down, this is looking pretty scary for them. You know, they've been doing a really good job fighting back so far, but man, this Kobayashi has just been completely turning every situation into an advantage for them. I can understand why they were able to take out a high-level European team.
And speaking of turning every situation into them, you can already see how far that yellow ink has extended into the base of Lime Soda. You know, that earlier it was even worse than what we're seeing right now, as now Kobayashi did go 3 down. And they really were kind of patient in waiting to push that tower. They're not trying to hop on this tower because they're feeling pretty comfortable right now with their 30-point lead. That said, of course, it's a 3-down situation going the other way for them. This Aerospray, the only one left on top of this kind of bridge here, going to be forced to go back. And it looks like
later
do what they're going to jump out nonetheless. But now that has allowed enough time here for these members of Kobayashi to come back and respawn, and so they're going to go full on in. And really, it looks like to me that Lime Soda is having difficulty dealing with some of these more short-range interactions here, and that's kind of what's netting them the game. What do you think about that one, Hitzel?
Yeah, I mean, well, what you saw right there with that Aerospray doing, basically the way that I've seen Japanese juniors playing recently is like, the Japanese junior, like, it wants to flank around and do a bunch of dumb stuff, but it's almost like a bait. Like, it can't actually kill you. It just wants you to pay attention to it so that its teammates can move up, almost, you know? And, you know, maybe, like, throw a splat bomb, you know, get armor. Like, the Aerospray has kind of been playing the same way. If you've been paying attention to him, he's been always on the flank. He's been always, like, offering some kind of pressure, but not necessarily going all in on his flanks. And then he's still in those situations there when he's challenged, he jumps out. And, yeah, that kind of teamwork, that kind of, like, distraction, you know, a mix between the Tenebrella just kind of, like, being able to survive by itself, the Aerospray, you know, going for these flanks and not dying, it just completely rattled Lime Soda's ability to kind of hold up a defense. And it just eventually those pushes, they build up, and if Lime Soda's never really able to kind of get anything going, and Kobayashi just keeps going for pushes, that's gonna be more than enough.
Yeah, Kobayashi, they're taking that game and the set 2-0 over Lime Soda. And so they'll be moving on here in the bracket into round 3. Their next opponents are going to be either Pokemon or Doggy Dog World. Personally, I would love to see Doggy Dog World versus Kobayashi, but we're probably not going to get to see that. Should be a fun one at the very least to see what the result of that match is. But yeah, I mean, the overall there, the summary of that game, the bottom line, Kobayashi pushed forward into these aggressive positions, and Lime Soda just couldn't quite deal with that, couldn't quite dislodge them. And so, Kobayashi was able to take commanding control of that game overall, and that's kind of what costed them the game.
Well, I just want to say that I was pretty impressed with Lime Soda. We talked about this, like, wow, these guys just beat KP. That's like arguably the #1 seed that the Western scene can produce, right? And oh man, this is looking really scary. But honestly, Lime Soda, they really did a good job at really fighting. I mean, like, you saw those KDs, both of those games. There was not really a significant difference in KDs for Kobayashi and Lime Soda, right? Like, they were getting kills. They were still coordinating. You could see that, like, even though that they were losing and they were outplayed, like, they weren't really outclassed. There was nothing close to a knockout. There was there was map control back and forth. I mean, sometimes, especially if you're not from Australia, the only time you really get to see Lime Soda is when they get all the way to the very end and they kind of fight a team that's some high-level Japanese team or like first seed and somewhere else, where they're kind of getting, like, they're having a difficult time showing the skills that got them there in the first place. But I think that even though that they lost this match, I think that this is a better glimpse into why they're able to come out on top of the Australian scene. Being able to hold their own against a team like that was able to best Crack in Paradise is pretty impressive. And I think that even though they lost this set, I think that they put on a good show.